Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. Thanks for joining. I see tons of people flooding in. Good to see so many eMarketeer customers and friends here today. And speaking of friends, hello, Robert.
Hello, Klaus.
Hi,
Nice
good
to
to
be
have you
back.
here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for another webinar on new stuff that we're bringing out. Pretty exciting, huh?
Yeah, it's always fun to bring new stuff to the product.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, cool. So good to have you here, Robert, and good to see so many eMarketeer users, as mentioned, joining in. A lot of people are flooding in, but we are at the hour, so we will hurry up and get going. And I have shared my screen, and we should both be on the cam still. So if everything is a-okay, we are good to get going. So as mentioned, I've brought Robert with me into the webinar today. Robert is one of our product owners and really is the guy that matches customer ideas, requests, product vision, and the technical stuff. Is that a fair representation, Robert?
Yeah, it's a lot of different aspects to put in the grinder and have hopefully something nice coming out in the other end.
Exactly. And myself, my name is Klaus, and if you've been on one of the webinars before, we've probably met, but I do product marketing here at eMarketeer. And I've brought Robert into the webinar today because it's a lot of brand new stuff. So I needed some expertise on answering questions, and that's also just nice to have somebody to talk to along the webinar. Now, speaking of talking, and you guys that know me, you know I can keep talking forever and ever. Please go ahead and interrupt us by using the questions box and letting us know what you think during the webinar. Ask questions. Robert will be picking up on the questions during the webinar, and we will do our best to catch all of the questions there. So, as mentioned, today the topic is introducing a brand new feature set. And you could also start a brand new way of thinking about how you work in eMarketeer. So it's pretty exciting. It's definitely a new era for eMarketeer. We've been working on the underlying features for this for a very long time. I think it's fair to say for 2 years we started working on specific lead features like lead scoring and filtering. And this is now where it's all coming together, being able to see the leads inside eMarketeer. So we'll be looking at the lead management aspect of things, the lead board and associated features, and we'll be looking also, giving you a glimpse of what's to come in the product before summer. And again, there, Robert has a lot of first-hand knowledge for us. So here, you're also very welcome to chime in. You're welcome to chime in throughout the webinar, of course, Robert. We're scheduled to be here for some 45 minutes. Hopefully you guys will send us some questions and curveballs and remarks so we can keep going a little longer. You will be able to submit questions in the questions box. I think it should be somewhere on the right-hand side of your screen. Nobody can see your questions, so don't be shy. Only Robert and I will be able to see the questions. We will send a recording after the webinar, so if you feel like sharing this with some colleagues, maybe your colleagues in sales, because I bet a lot of you guys are from the marketing side of things, you're more than welcome to do so. Okay, but let's take a step back and look at the journey that brought us here. I mean, why are we focusing on leads so much now, and why have we brought this whole area of lead management into focus? It's really because many of you guys have told us that generating leads, managing these leads, and handing them over to sales is really one of the challenges of being a marketer. All right, we do our campaigns, we do our events, we do our outbound, inbound, all of that stuff that we normally do as marketeers, but making sure that we effectively tie in with sales is something that we've heard a lot of feedback from you guys, that doing this in a good way is something that's pretty challenging. And I guess, Robert, you've been involved in a lot of customer projects. You've seen all sorts of ways of doing this, from Excel sheets to PowerPoint slides to homegrown databases.
Yeah. And people, our customers, some of them just don't leverage the data to bring out the leads, and because but now we bring them a tool for it, and which will be easy enough to use and really get the best out of what we actually are generating, which is contact data and engagement data.
Exactly. And this whole old struggle, I know it's a cliche, but it's still somewhat true. This whole idea of marketing doing a lot of work and they don't think that sales is following up, and sales is always saying we're never getting enough leads from marketing. This whole debacle has some truth to it, because typically they don't work out of the same picture of reality, if you will. And I think this approach here brings that a whole lot closer. So yeah, as you can hear, Robert and I were pretty excited, and I hope that we can share this excitement with you guys. Let us know what you think, even though if it's not a question during the webinar, just shoot it at us in the questions box there. It's always nice with some feedback. So the whole focus of eMarketeer is obviously still the same. It's a marketing platform that helps you communicate across a lot of channels in an easy way and enabling you to automate a lot of your marketing. But our focus is even now more razor sharp on leads and the management of leads. It's still the purpose of marketing is to generate leads so that your sales team can help grow the company, and for the existing customers to stick around for longer and buy more. So that's still the purpose of marketing, and it has to do with making the most of the data and the insights that we generate, just as you said, Rob. And when we ask not only for your feedback, but also in the market in general, heads of sales and marketing, what their challenges are, what their top priorities are, they're really focused on these areas of generating more leads, so generating demand, converting that demand into customers and revenue, and doing that in an effective way, so aligning sales and marketing. These are really the top 3 priorities, and those are the ones that we're responding to. Lead gen, classically what you're doing in marketing today. Lead management, being able to follow up and share what you've created in your marketing, and the sales and marketing alignment, bringing everything together in one place so it's easy to consume. So we'll look at that trinity of lead gen, lead management, and sales and marketing alignment just in a little more detail. So lead gen, what you're doing today in your marketing activities, finding contacts, finding interesting persons that could be prospect buyers, help to nurture those and bring that information to them that's relevant, so you increase their interest and their score, so to say, in you. The lead management aspect of things is capturing all of these and being able to manage them, to be able to qualify them and give attention and give them to sales in a meaningful way. And lastly, the alignment, again, bring people together so that you're looking at the same thing from the marketing and the sales side of things. You agree on what a lead is. You agree on how a lead is good as a qualified lead. What does it take for different people to be a qualified lead, and what is of interest to the sales team? So the reporting kind of needs to be on the same page there as well, so we understand one another. And looking at how this has typically been done in eMarketeer, we have the lead generation on the marketing side. Lead management is where we haven't really had a lot of options for salespeople to utilize the stuff that we've created. And then the sales and marketing alignment, with obviously the central focus here is creating growth for our company. And on the marketing side of things, this is where you have all of the tools in eMarketeer, your marketing, your email campaigns, your mobile apps, landing pages, forms, call to actions, the automation, all of that stuff that generates and really is the content of your campaigns. Then we introduced lead scoring and filtering, which made it easier to focus in on the folks that are interesting, right? So lead score enables you to assign numbers, points, scores to people who have either done something specific or who are in a specific country or in a specific industry. So you can assign points depending on how good a fit are they as a customer, and are they interested in you based on what they're doing with your marketing. And then now we're bringing the final piece here is really the lead management aspect. We're creating what we've called a lead board, where we can show our colleagues in sales all of the leads that we're generating. We're building extensive contact and company profiles on these leads. So we're showing everything that a lead has done over time and bringing further information from the web into the interface here to tell sales about which persons are interesting here. We're showing the history that a lead or a company has with you with regards to what they have done in your marketing. And we're also bringing news and performance views into play here. Lastly, with the goal of sharing insights, getting that one picture of the truth, if you will. And if you've seen me do a webinar before, you're probably familiar with this slide. Again, previously, and I don't know for how long we can say previously, because it's been like this for quite a while now, that marketing is possessing or controlling a larger and larger piece of the customer journey with all of the activities that marketing is doing, from email marketing, content marketing, social media, advertising, webinars, events, all of this stuff. A lot of the customer journey is handled by marketing, and a lot of this customer journey is digital, right? More than 80 or 90% today. And if we're not doing a good job of informing our colleagues in sales with information about what's going on, how are they going to know? How are they going to have a qualified discussion or meeting with the leads that we're trying to influence? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we level the playing field, we open up this black box of marketing to sales, and we hand over the leads to sales in a meaningful way. So, and how do we go about doing that? Looking at the platform, all of the, maybe you know eMarketeer already, and maybe you don't. These are all of the different components or a lot of the different features, key features we have in eMarketeer. And the addition here of the lead board and contact and company cards is really what brings sales and marketing together. So still, you'll find all of your components for email marketing, surveys, mobile apps, and so on there. And now we have an addition of the lead board. Maybe cool to say here, you won't find the lead board as a feature available in your eMarketeer. It needs to be enabled for you guys. So if you think that this could be interesting for you, let us know in the questions box, or just hit reply on one of my emails from the webinar here, letting us know that you would like to get started with this, and we'll help you set this all up so it's easy for you to get started on the right foot. So just let us know if you think this would be interesting to you. Okay, let's get straight into it. Let's see if there are any questions here that are popping up. I'll circle back to some of those in just a sec. So let's look at the features that we're bringing on, namely the lead board and the associated features. So first, let's talk a little bit of terminology here, if you will, and I'll go through the process here. So the lead process is obviously you do a lot of marketing on different channels and different campaigns, and you try to generate interest and generate demand for your products. Now, we want to make sure that instead of showing everything to everybody on the sales side, so just handing over everything, we separate the leads into the right teams so that we show the right stuff to the right colleagues here. So in this example, for instance, we have a sales team working in Finland, and we have a sales team working in Norway, and we want to make sure that the Finnish team only sees the Finnish leads, in this case with a score over 100, and the Norwegian team only sees the Norwegian leads with a score over 100. So they get their individual lead boards where the leads will flow into. So instead of showing everything to everybody, we're showing the Finnish leads to the Finnish team and the Norwegian leads to the Norwegian team. This is a very black and white, very basic way of explaining it, but basically you set up as many streams to really focus in on which leads should go to which teams, and you can also combine streams into several teams. So let's take an example here. So we have Roger, he is the head of sales for product X, and we have Amy, she's the head of sales for product Y. I know these are great names for a product, but then we can just follow along here. So we have a discussion with Roger and says, Roger, what is interesting to you guys? So you don't want to see all leads, you want to see those that are interesting to you. So the first thing Roger needs, he needs his own team. He has a sales team that is focused on selling product X to the right target group. And then we talk to Roger, talk to Roger, say, so what is an interesting lead to you? I'm sure that somebody signing up to my newsletter isn't of interest to you. What does it take for a lead to be qualified? And he says, well, if they're interested in the product that I'm selling and they have a lead score of over 100, that's interesting to me. Or actually, if they've just signed up for a webinar on our product, that's good enough for me. I want that as a lead as well. So we create these two lead streams and we funnel those into the lead board for sales team for product X, and Roger and his teammates on the sales team of product X, they get their very own lead board. And then we go through the exact same process with Amy. She's focused on product Y, and we can say Amy is interested in, or the people that Amy would like to see on her lead board are the ones that are interested in her product. She has a little lower score expectation there. It's a bigger ticket item maybe, so she would like more leads, so we're lowering the score threshold there. And she would like to know if people have asked for a demo in her product niche there. And then with her sales team and her individual lead board, she gets those leads. I hope this makes it clear that you can create as many sales teams, as many sales streams that you want. The idea is that the teammates get their own individual lead board with things that are important to them. All right, so let's look at the lead board and what you have on the lead board when it's enabled for you in eMarketeer. The lead board is kind of a Kanban board, if you're familiar with Trello or project management tool, where you can move cards or tiles around on the board. It's the same thing with the lead board. It's divided into different columns, as you'll see, the first column being the marketing qualified leads. And from that column, you can drag your leads through to sales qualified, opportunities, and so on. So you can drag and drop leads around on the board. You can assign sales reps to different leads. You can look at their engagement history, their lead score, and much more. So let's have a look at what you'll be finding in eMarketeer. The first view of the lead board is the stage view. So this is where all of the leads, and let's say this was Roger's team, so these are Roger's teammates, and these are all the leads that Roger should be seeing there. All of the marketing qualified leads end up here, and Roger and his teammates can start moving leads through the funnel as they interact with the leads, as they further qualify them. They can move them to sales qualified, opportunities, and they can mark whether they've won or lost the deal with a specific lead. So it's really a very intuitive interface here. They can just move the leads around on the lead board, and they can see all of the stuff that's here. We'll go into more details of what you'll be able to see on the lead board. The lead board also has a funnel view. When you click the funnel view, you'll see the performance of your team. You can also see the performance in different lead streams. So you can see the conversion rates from marketing qualified leads to sales qualified leads. You can also see the performance of individuals. And if you select a specific lead stream here, you can look at the leads that are coming in through the product demo request, for instance, and see how you're converting those types of leads. And you can compare it to the ones that have a score over 100 and have an interest in your product. So you can compare your different lead channels in this board. It's good for sales because then they know where they are succeeding the most, which types of lead they're closing most deals on. And it's great for marketing because they can see which campaigns and which lead types are best converted by the sales team. From the stage view, you can also open up a lead and look at the contact view. This is where you can see information about the individual here. We try to find the profile image, title, contact information, social media profiles of the contact, biography from LinkedIn. We gather as much information as we can about the person from the web. We show the lead score and all of the engagement that this contact have had with your email campaigns across all of your different channels. And you can look at the contact information, you can add notes, you can open up their LinkedIn profile, you can really interact as a salesperson with the lead and all the information that's stored here. You can also open up the company view, which is the company view of the lead that you're looking on. So if this person has colleagues from the same company that have also interacted with your marketing material, they will also show up here. So this is kind of the aggregated lead score of all of the persons working at this company that are interested in your offerings. So those are some of the views, but let's go ahead and check it out in eMarketeer. So I'm logged into eMarketeer. If you're not an eMarketeer user, don't worry where I click too much. If you are an eMarketeer user, this view should be pretty familiar to you. But what's new is this button up here called Leads. And as I click the leads, I end up on the lead board that I'm assigned to. So the lead board loads, and I am an admin. I'm logged into eMarketeer as a marketer and an admin, so I can see all of my campaigns and contacts and everything that you have in eMarketeer, plus the new lead board. I can see which team I'm associated with here, and I can see my teammates over here. I can manage the team as well to create new team members or create new teams. Then I have the lead board with the different stages, the marketing qualified, sales, opportunity, won, and lost. And I can look at my different lead streams. So in this example, I have leads from website and webinar leads. These are two streams that I've set up to be fed into the Swedish sales lead board. When I open up a lead by clicking the lead card here, I can see information from the web about this lead. Again, this is just a demo person, but it will bring up the social media profiles and the biography. I can see the aggregated lead score of this person and everything that she has done and interacted with that increases the score. I can see her engagement over time. Now, again, if you're an eMarketeer user, you're used to seeing all of this information in eMarketeer. But think about all of your colleagues in sales. All of a sudden, now you can open this up to your sales colleagues, and they can have their own access to all of this information that they haven't been able to see before. So they can see exactly which email campaigns, exactly which call to action forms, exactly which events and webinars and whatnot that Amanda, in this case, have interacted with in the lead board here. So you're opening up what could have been a black box of marketing magic to your colleagues in sales here. You can see engagement by date, by campaign. You can see the score summary. You have contact information on the person. You can add notes as a salesperson. So I can add a note, great meeting with Amanda. Whatever, you get the idea. And I can save, and the note is saved to the card here as a note. I can click the company view, and that will bring up the aggregated view of all of the persons working at this demo company and everything that they've done throughout time in your marketing activities tracked by eMarketeer. So really a powerful view for your colleagues in sales that can see which qualified leads are coming in. They can take John here. He's now a qualified lead because he has signed up for a webinar, for instance. I have assigned the lead to myself, and I can drag John to the sales qualified column, and we can start working with the lead from here. If I go into the funnel view, as I showed you briefly before, I have the sales funnel and how we are converting across the funnel. So I have marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads, opportunities, and won sales. So I can see my conversion rates across the different stages there. And I have the individual performance of the individual people in this sales team. So I can see that I'm working on 14 sales qualified leads. Robert is working on 5, and Rob is pretty good at converting the opportunities that he's working on to won sales. If I change my filtering up here, so let's say I wanted to look at only leads from the website, the funnel view would also look at leads from the website, and I can also do a date filtering, or even just look at my leads. So the filtering I'm doing up here adapts the whole report down here, so I can really focus in on what's important for me when I look at the performance of either myself or my teammates. Now, you might wonder if all of this information is available to everybody who is logged into eMarketeer. And you need to have a sales user, so that's a new thing we've added on, a sales user. So when a sales user logs in, he or she will see the leads tab. If they also have a marketing user associated to their profile, they will have access to everything in eMarketeer. But I bet that what you would like is something like this. When your sales colleagues logged in, they just see the lead board that they are assigned to based on which sales team they belong to. So that is the way it works. If you're a sales user, you log in. Obviously, you shouldn't be able to go in to mess with all of the campaigns and the settings and whatnot in eMarketeer. You only have access to the lead board here. So that is, in a nutshell, the lead board and how you interact with the leads there as a salesperson. The crux here is really that for you working in marketing, you can hand over leads to sales in a sales board that is easy to work with and that makes sense to your sales colleagues because they are just seeing the leads that are relevant to them and they can start working with the leads right from this list. Anything you would point out at this point, Robert, before we head on?
You said pretty much everything, but the big difference here is that the normal way to deliver leads is perhaps an Excel file where you have just names or one single thing triggering that this should be a lead because they signed up for something. But here you can use the whole 360 view of scoring personas and sort of a combination of what engagement you would require for them to qualify as a lead and bring them all the way to the salesperson and keeping everything available to view when you see the lead. So yeah, that's what I feel most proud of, I guess.
Yeah. Previously it was more kind of a bit of a binary scenario. Either a contact has done this or the contact has done nothing. So we'd listen to very specific actions and we could send a notification to a salesperson that this has happened. But in this case, we can take in all of the stuff that eMarketeer knows about behavior and about profile and really filter very specific to the needs of the sales teams. So really, really cool. Let us know what you think in the comments box or the questions box. If you have any questions, obviously send them there and we will do our best to answer them. Now, in addition to the lead board here, there are a lot of associated features that needed to go into the product in order to set up sales teams, set up sales users, and so on. So some of these features, I'll just go through them. So let's find the slides here. Here we are. So the one of the features here is a new week, new leads email. So your colleagues in sales that are assigned to a sales team so they can log in and look at their lead board, they get a weekly email every Monday that tells them about the new leads that are on the lead board. We show the logos, titles, names, which lead streams they belong to and their lead score. So we can kind of nudge your colleagues to log into the lead board and start working on the leads that your campaigns have generated. We can also see the team performance for the sales team that you are in. So if you're part of several sales teams, you will get an individual email for each sales team so that you can focus on what's important to you. Sales teams is also new in eMarketeer. So on the admin settings, if you're an admin, you know that you can set up user accounts. Once lead board has been activated for you, you can also set up sales teams. So you can assign which users should be part of the different sales teams. In this case, it's a geography-based team, but obviously, as I showed with Roger and Amy before, if you have product verticals, product vertical sales team, organized sales teams, you can go ahead and set up as many sales teams as you need and assign different members to your sales teams. And sales users in eMarketeer is also a new thing. So on the user accounts where you create new users in eMarketeer, there is a new user type called sales. And when that is enabled on a user, they will have access to the leads tab here. And obviously, if you only give access to sales, not admin, dev, and marketing, you won't see any of the other tabs up here at all. So that's how your sales colleagues would be set up, just adding the sales permission to them, and they only have access to the lead board there. And then finally, another feature that went into works here is the lead streams. Lead streams, again, is kind of the filtering process that decides which sales teams get which leads. So much like the filtering or the lead scoring functionality in eMarketeer, you can set up as many streams as you would like, and you can decide which teams get the leads from which stream. Very word confusing here. But in this case, for instance, let's say we did a lead stream that says everybody with a score over 100, we could give it a description, and we can decide which sales teams should see this lead stream. A lead stream, and you click it to edit it, you have the same filtering and search capabilities as you have across all of eMarketeer. So you can look at all of the contact fields or the profile fields you have, and all of the behavior that eMarketeer can track here. All right, so that is really a rundown of how leads are organized. Think about Roger and Amy again, and how we talk with them about which leads make sense to them, so that their individual team gets their own lead board, so the leads that show up here are relevant to them. And you can focus and filter and hone in to create an even better lead process here. The trick of sales logging in here and having the ability to open up the black box of marketing and see what everything has done, what everybody has done throughout the history of the contact engagement here is really the key here. All right. Before we move on, let me just check if there are any unanswered questions at this point. Doesn't seem to be the case. All right, so let's look a little bit ahead and see what's coming. Again, all of the stuff that I've just shown, it's all available now to the market. So if you're interested, shoot us a note in the questions box there, or just reply to one of the webinar emails to get going, and we can help you set up the lead board and sales users, sales teams, and so on. It can be a little bit daunting maybe with all of these new concepts, so we want to make sure that you get started on the right foot and set this up according to your needs and teams. So let's look at what's ahead, what we're working on to be released before summer, at least the first version. And taking a little bit of a step back, or taking the helicopter tour of the entire eMarketeer platform. How are we thinking about this as a concept? Well, in the middle of everything, we have persons, right? We have individuals that we're trying to influence, make them buy more, buy something for the first time, stick around for longer, become advocates. We're trying to influence people with the marketing that we're doing. So people are at the very center here, as you can also see on the lead board, gathering as much information we can about a person, and his or her interaction with your marketing is the centerpiece here. And a lot of this activity is also obviously created in the Marketing Cloud, or the eMarketeer platform, with your marketing campaigns that you're doing, so we can assign engagement history and score and automations to a person that you're trying to influence. Then, with the addition of all of the lead management and sales and marketing alignment features now, we can really bring in the sales team to eMarketeer to have their own view of what you're doing, and you have a good way of handing over leads to your colleagues there. And then we will introduce journeys, as I'll be showing you in a second. Journeys are a way to set up your flows of events that you want to have happen with persons as they journey down your customer journey, as you nurture them to become customers. It's a visual representation of all of the steps that a person is going through in your marketing. And then at the top here, we have what we call enrichers. These are the mechanisms we use to bring data from the web into the contact card and the company card. So like logos, location, industry, company size, titles, biography, all of that stuff. We continue to work on improving those to put more information into eMarketeer than you have from the get-go. So just by having a company email address of a contact enables us to gather a whole lot of information about that company and about that person and put it into eMarketeer. And then lastly, what we call signals is being able to grab signals from outside eMarketeer and assign to these contacts. So if they fill out a lead ad on LinkedIn or a lead ad on Facebook, we want to be able to bring that into eMarketeer and automate and score and put it on the lead board and so on. So the signals and the journeys are the next ones up that we are working on. And let's look at journeys, because that's really an interesting piece here. Well, journeys, as mentioned, is a visual representation of what you would like to have happen to a contact that is going through one of your campaigns here. If you're used to working with automations, in eMarketeer in a campaign, think about it as a visual representation of automations, but it's just much, much bigger. So let's look at a journey and what it's comprised of. You have the different steps in your journey are listed here as these cards. The top one is where somebody enters a journey. So for instance, if they request a demo or sign up for a piece of content or participate in a product evaluation, whatever it is, something that starts this sequence of steps. And then you have the different steps like sending emails. We can wait a couple of days and see if they've done what we expected. And along the journey, you have these notes between the different steps, and you can click these notes to bring in more components to the journey. Again, if you've worked with automations in eMarketeer, this is where you would be able to send your email, send your text messages. We're introducing some new logics like waiting, and we can go different paths depending on what the person does. And we can update contact cards, subscriptions, categories, lists, and so on. You could also always see how many people are in a journey and how many people have completed a journey. And you are able to zoom in and out and pan around to see the different journey steps as you go through the journey as they go through the journey in your setup here. So this is the first version. We're expecting it to launch before summer. We are testing it out right now ourselves. So let me go ahead, and if you noticed, you'll see the journeys up here in my account here. So click the journeys, and this is where all of the journeys that you have set up are. So the first thing you'll notice is that automations, normally they reside within a campaign. Journeys go across all of eMarketeer, and with the introduction of signals, even outside eMarketeer as well. So that's why it's gotten its very own home here now. And I click a journey that I've created just for the demo purpose here. As mentioned, you can zoom in and out. Over here, I have the summary. I can pan around and see how the journey looks. And I can click on the different steps here. For instance, the first one, that is the entry for the journey. I have set up a rule that says if they've signed up for the webinar, they should begin this journey. Again, I can combine it with more criteria based on contact information or behavior, so I can really get really nitty and gritty and specific about who is entering this journey and why. And then if they match that criteria, they will start the journey. The first step here being eMarketeer will send them an email, and I can choose between all of the emails I have in eMarketeer. I can even go ahead and edit the email if I need to update something as I'm building my journey here. And then we've introduced a new feature called wait, which means that we can wait a couple of hours, weeks, days, months, whatever matches the journey that you're trying to create for the contact, the recipient of the email, to do something specific. In this case, we're saying wait 1 week, and then we'll look at, did they evaluate? Did they click the evaluation link in the email? If it was submitted, then the journey will continue down the yes path, and if they didn't evaluate, it will continue down the no path. So you can split out into different streams, if you will, into different paths in your journey here. So as you can see, it's a pretty intuitive interface. You can drag and drop, zoom in and out, just click the nodes here to add more steps to your journey, and you can start building those journeys. Journeys can be copied easily. So if you've created a really nice journey for one segment, you can just copy the journey and then change the entry parameters. What is it that makes a person enter a journey? And then you can use the nice layout of the journey that you've created to build new journeys there. So we're really excited about getting started with journeys ourselves. It is currently in pilot, and we hope to launch it before summer. I hope I haven't promised too much here, Rob.
No, it's actually what you just tested is live, but not for the customers yet. We are still finalizing a few things, and the scope of journeys, it's larger than just the campaigns usage, because since you can use any filter as starting point, it doesn't have to be someone who answered the form. It could be if a contact was updated more than 6 months ago, go ahead and delete the allergy field, or so GDPR macros almost, or if you drag a lead on the lead board to opportunity, push something somewhere or send them an email or whatever. So you can really automate and build flows of sort of the rules for your entire eMarketeer, not only the online, so the campaign related stuff.
So it's almost you can build in business logics and processes there that haven't necessarily anything to do specific with communicating to the lead or the contact, but more making things happen automatically as a process in eMarketeer.
So that's happening really soon, and then I'm really excited about the signals and enrichment project that you spoke of, which will it's almost partially there, but because generating leads and starting journeys is all based on the contact data that we have and the engagement signals that we get from them, and that's all happening within eMarketeer right now. You can only get signals, engagement from the campaigns that you're doing in eMarketeer, but things are happening outside eMarketeer also. So connecting to all these different platforms, and LinkedIn is what we're starting with, but also others, allows us to blend all the engagement from campaigns, but also from social platforms or CRM systems or swiping the membership card or whatever. And the more signals and the more enrichment data and that we get, the more fun things we can do. So
absolutely, yeah, it just makes the head spin just thinking about all of the opportunities as you mentioned them there. Absolutely.
Yeah, but usually, as usual, we'll dumb it down and make it simple and the eMarketeer way in a way. Yeah.
All right, we're at the almost at the 45 minutes, and it's definitely time to submit your questions if you have them. I see that there are a couple of questions that have come in that have been answered in the chat there. Here's a question from Annika. Will you touch on the link to a CRM system and the difference between what you have in eMarketeer and what is in a CRM system? Annika, that's a very broad question. It's a very good question. Obviously, we have an integration to SuperOffice CRM. So if you are in that space, we have a whole lot of features connected there. I think the lead board here is a fantastic segue or midway between the eMarketeer platform and the users in the CRM, where you can see the leads that are being brought in from marketing to sales, and you can manage them there and work with the leads there. At this point, there's no further integration from the lead board into other CRM systems. But I guess with signals, as you mentioned, Robert, it opens up the possibility to take signals from other systems as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and the journeys, because that's what we've done with SuperOffice, is that when you move something to opportunity, we create a sale in the CRM system, and adding more connectivities to other systems would allow us to do that in other systems also. And we're not aiming to take over the entire CRM sales process. We're just a funnel in to start your sales there. But we do have the won and lost columns, but that's just because we want to know the outcome of the sale in the end, because that can help us report back to marketing what went well and what did not.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see if there are more questions there. I don't think there are any more questions at this point. There's a question about pricing. Hannah, just have a look at our website. You can see the eMarketeer pricing depends on how many users you are and so on. But we will just reach out to us, and we will look at your requirements there and help you set up There is a per user fee for the access to the sales board. So your colleagues in sales need an access to eMarketeer, and there's a per user fee for that access there, and it's all on the website. But just reach out and we will discuss how this is set up for you and what your requirements are. It's pretty straightforward to get going here. So no further questions at this point. Let me know if you have anything that we haven't touched on yet. And if not, I will just thank you so much for being here today. I hope that what we've been working on for a while now, and our whole idea of making you enable you to communicate with your colleagues in sales, bring them into all of the work that is happening on the marketing side, handing over leads to the right salesperson at the right time in a scenario that makes sense for them. We're just really thrilled about the prospect of this. So we can't wait to see how you guys will be using the lead board and hearing your feedback on that. Okay, any closing remarks here, Rob? We are at the not at the hour, but at the 45 minutes, and there are no questions left.
No, you did it again, Klaus.
Okay, thanks for helping out, and have a great day, Rob. And as all you guys as well, let us know what you think about the webinar. I'll be sending you a follow-up email shortly with the recording and a brief survey. Please go ahead and let me know what you think of today's webinar. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.